Well, there you go. Back live. So welcome everybody. It is at the moment 6:30 in the UK. I don't expect there to be an awful lot of people because this was put together rather quickly. So let me explain. So obviously you know me as Model Officer. I am the owner of Sprue Box, which is up there, as you can see in the corner. And I'm proud to say that Sprue Box delivers something a little bit different than other retailers online. And one of those things will be the addition to us for supplying Outlaw Paints. So a deal has been made, and that I'm going to be the sole distributor in the UK for Outlaw Paints. We have got some another retailer coming online, and we have others coming online in the near future. So they are available for pre-order on the site. We don't do the UK launch until the Big Telford show, Scale ModelWorld, on the 11th of November. But if you want to get your orders in, you can do. They will be turned off at some point because obviously I had to make a guess as to what people will take or want. But we'll have the full range from Outlaw Paints at Telford. So if you want to place an order, you can do. If you want to place an order and collect it at Scale ModelWorld, there is a code for that. Drop me an email and I shall gladly explain that to you. That'll save you postage. There is an offer on that if you buy 6 bottles or more, there is a discount for the pre-order. So like I say, that won't stay there forever. It will be coming off in the next couple of weeks. So if you want to get your orders in, please do. Anyway, enough of all that. The reason I'm here today and done this video is if you'd seen it, I did a little unboxing and look at this particular monkey, which is the Sea Fury T20 from PM Models. Now, it's a very basic kit, very few parts, but excellent for a mule. So that is what I'm going to do today. Is I'm basically going to show you the paints in action. I've done a couple of models which are on the bench we'll go to in a minute, and I'm going to do one live. Now, I did put a post up asking you if you wanted a metal finish or a red finish, and lo and behold, it would appear that I would need to do half and half. Didn't see that coming. So this could be quite entertaining. I don't know how long the stream is going to go on for, but we're just going to get the basic colors on the main airplane, which you can see, just sort of there-ish. I put it together as a kit, doing a build and showing you how to put a few parts together. It's not super exciting, so we're just going to concentrate on the painting. But before we get to the bench, look to see who's braved the chat and said hello. So first off, we've got Anfield Road Layout saying hi to you. Now I do know your name, but I've forgotten it, so I apologize, and I'm really crap with names, so do forgive me. Oscar Model Making or Oscar Modeling is there saying good morning. Yes, good morning, very early morning to you too. Thank you very much, Peter, for being with us. And as you quite rightly pointed out, that it's 3:30 in the morning and you need coffee. Coffee is your best friend. So you also made a comment there that Jason's probably still sleeping. He's got any sense, probably, but I didn't tell him I was doing this, so I don't expect him to be here anyway. So there you go. Anyway, who else we got? We got Scale Model Ninja saying good afternoon. Hi mate, how you doing? And that is all the chat. That's everyone that has said hello. So there's 7 people watching. If you are watching, please take the time and trouble to say hello. Got any questions or anything, I will try my best to answer them. There you go. So Outlaw Paints, that's what you're here for. That's what you want to have a look and see. Let me change the camera by mystical means. There you go. This is going to be the view for the majority of the stream. So I will try and highlight any questions and stuff that come in, but this is going to be the main focus is obviously the paint. So as you can see, I have actually done a couple of models in metal already. So we'll come to the Spitfire in a minute. But what we did is we did a 1/72 English electric lightning. And as you can see, the metal finish looks absolutely lovely. And I've just broken a bit off. Look at that. Hey, do lives, they say. Nothing can go wrong. Anyway, so yeah, I also used a blue. Now, the particular blue I used was part of the military range, and it's called True Blue. So not sure it's 100% accurate for this particular model and livery. So I've taken a little bit of artistic license, but we've got the blue on there, and we also have the red, which is on the cover, which was very handy because I forgot to put the weight in the nose, so I ended up pouring loads of weight into there and gluing that shut. So that's handy. And then we've got a green there as well. So as you can see, I don't think it turned out too bad. The metal finish is quite nice. Hey, I don't want to sound like I'm getting too enthusiastic, as Jason would point out, but I'll be honest, I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing. Really, really good finish. And that took literally a couple of covers across, like going across with the airbrush literally a couple of times, and it was done. So not a great deal of paint used, but it is a 1/72 aircraft anyway. So yeah, there's the electric lightning. I will put some pictures up in the community so you can see it in a little bit more detail. But yeah, quite happy with that. First time I've made that particular model, and it came out really good. So going on to the Spitfire, Jason's love, of course. This is a Mark 22 Spitfire. We have used the aluminium, which is this one here, as the metal finish, and I'm really, really pleased with it. I think it looks absolutely stonking. We've used the white, which is, I believe, just the military white that we used, and then we also used orange on the nose, and I can't see for the life of me what it's called. International orange, I think it was, or something like that. And obviously the black. Now the black is an RAF black, but as you can see, and the green obviously we've used as well for the cockpit. This isn't finished. I basically got it to the point where everything is sealed, and I'm leaving at that point, because like, I'd love to do a bit of weathering. I'd love to bring out the panel lines a little bit more and all that sort of thing. But the whole purpose of doing these was to basically do two things: was to show how easy this paint is to use, because it's pre-thinned, it's ready to go, and all you literally do is pour it into your airbrush, spray, and done. Now, this is my first interaction with lacquers. I haven't used any other lacquers at all. I do have a few more brands up on the shelf there, in which I've purposely got to do comparisons. But that's more for me than it is for you. We probably will do something at some point, but anyway. So yeah, these models will be going to Telford with me. We do also have started anyway, a duck, 1/72 Grumman duck, which we've used our a blue on there, and that will be red, blue and red, and a dark gloss blue, I think, on the black off the top of my head. Oh, sorry, the bottom off the back top of my head. So obviously that's in progress, and these are all mules in which I will bring to Telford with me to show what you can achieve. I've not done anything fancy at all. I literally have just put the paint on, decals on, and sealed it with a clear coat. That's all I've done. I've done nothing more than that, because I want the paint to shine through and show. What I may well do is I may do one more aircraft where I don't put any decals on or any cover or anything, just raw paint, just to show how it looks. So for me personally, as a modeler, it's the first time I've had a paint in which, one, I've not had to learn how to use, two, has had the effect that I need within two coats, not two coats, just two passes of your airbrush. And all in all, I'm just in awe of this paint. Now, the reason I introduced myself the way I did, because I wouldn't normally do that, is because clearly I do need to explain that I am the sole distributor of this paint in the UK. So I'm going to tell you it's good because I am distributing it. That's true. That's true. But my ethos at Sprue Box is to deliver something different and the best I can. I believe truly, hand on my heart, that this is the best paint I've used in my modeling journey. So that's quite an accolade to throw at this paint. But that is truly how I feel. Now, to address that, because I feel there's a little bit of an imbalance there, maybe, potentially to our viewers, I have pre-made, which I will show you. He says, I wasn't ready for this, of course. So I have pre-made literally sample bottles of the paint. And all I've done is decant it from the big bottles into small bottles. And these will be going out to YouTubers that you know and trust. And I've literally set them a challenge. There is enough paint, I believe, in what I deliver to them to paint a 1/72 aircraft of some description, depending on the paint they get. And they, I think, will have some left over. Not a great deal, but they will have a little bit left over. But it proves, for example, this is the medium green. Now that's a 10 ml bottle. And there is less than 5 mils in there. So I truly believe that this paint will go quite a distance and do really well. So I can't really say that, and you believe me, because I'm importing it. So I'm going to send that to some people to prove that statement correct. Hopefully I don't end up with egg on my face. I'm sure I won't, because the guys I've selected are honest, got a good reach, and that will be coming to you in the very near future. Anyway, before we get to the main event, let's have a quick look to see what the chat's doing. Tony's just saying there, the metallic finish is the dogs. Oh, trust me, it really, I haven't had a metallic that behaves like that I can ever remember. So there you go. Scale Model Ninja says, Outlaw Paints any good for brush painting? No, these are purposely designed and made for airbrushing. You can thin them a little bit if you want to, although Outlaw Paints, the guys that make it, would say to you, you A, don't need to, and B, it's specifically been designed so you don't need to. Although you can, if you want to, spread it a little bit further, but I wouldn't personally. He then also says it's a shame that he only uses hairy sticks. Well, yeah, there are some things coming in different directions to Sprue Box. So watch this space. You never know. There might be a whole new thing for you to have on the bench in the coming months. Gary Stuff is here saying hi. Hi, James. Hi, Gary. Thanks for joining me. Nice to see you. LJ Scale Models is there saying hi. See you at Telford. Cheers, Liam. It will be my first the first show. Wow, you're gonna have your mind blown. You really are. It's absolutely amazing. Then we go down to another question from Gary, and Gary just says, will Outlaw Paints will you do Outlaw Paints as sets, i.e. RAF, World War II, Japanese aviation, etc.? So as the plan stands right now, no, is the short answer to that, Gary. We're not going to do that because we haven't got that set up yet. Notice I said yet. Now the reason I say yet is because yes, there will be some combinations that I put together. As you know, in Sprue Box, I tend to do that sort of thing anyway, in which we can maybe address that a little bit, because obviously to buy the full military range is over £800, and you know, you might have an interest in a particular part of that range. So yeah, open for discussion and open for trying to assist you in any way I can, of course. But yes, stay tuned, because yes, I have something in planned but that probably will be after Telford, I think. And as Gary says quite rightly, I always like to hear yet. Yes, absolutely. Well, you know, I like to throw things out there. Totally Scale Model, Steve, he says hi. Hi, Steve. I hope you're feeling okay today. Steve's a little unwell at the moment. And yeah, speedy recovery, my friend. Anfield just saying, I just started airbrush. I'm going to get some off you when you have them. Yeah, so just to clarify one more time, the paints I've got here, I've got a very small selection of the paints for lots of different purposes, but also because I wanted to try and get my hands on them. But the actual shipment itself will not be available until the 11th of November. So what that actually means is we will go live with it on the first day of the show at Telford, the Scale ModelWorld. And if you've pre-ordered your stuff, the plan is that it will arrive at your door on the same day. Now, hopefully that plan works, but yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed it all works out. But yeah, so hopefully if you've pre-ordered it, and a few people have ordered a few bottles, they've all you know, anything from full range to a few bottles, yeah, that's the plan. They will be there for you on that day. So if you can't make Telford, but you want the paints, and you want to be having fun with them on that Saturday stroke Sunday, that weekend, pre-order them, and I will try my utmost best to make sure they arrive to you on time. The only thing I would say to you, though, is if they arrive early, please do not shout and jump about on it, because obviously the UK launch is on the 11th. So Steve's asked a question there and just asking about how much the paints cost. So the military range, they start at $5.95, I think it is a bottle, but the metallics are a little bit more expensive. So the entry level is about $5.50. We're also doing primers. We've also got some flat, clear and satin finishes for you. We do have a couple of box sets, actually, thinking about it, on the site already. We've got a rust set, we've got a brake set, and another one, but I can't remember what that is. So we are literally going to have the full range of what you can get from Outlaw Paints in the UK from the 11th. Going forward, obviously after the 11th, hopefully we won't run out, and we will be able to get an order in to the UK in time to make sure that the flow is consistent. Is a new thing. We are going to have to manage anticipation, etc. So we'll see. Anyway, enough of that waffle. So going back to what we were talking about. So this is the kit of choice for a mule. As I said, it's PM Models. It's distributed by Bachmann Europe PLC, and this is the 172nd Sea Fury T20. As I said, basic kit, nothing too special. These are the colour shout outs in which was given. We've got metal finish, which is for the Jotun Royal Navy historical flight, and then we have a West German version, which is in red. You chose for me to do half and half. God help me. So I'm going to put that up there to remind me that I'm a nutter. This is the plane. As you can see, the cockpit detail is basically 2 seats. That's all it is. The line definition on the wings is recessed. Not overly deep, reasonably soft, I guess, but the detail is limited. The underneath, putting the wings onto the fuselage didn't fit overly well, but as I said, it is a mule, so I'm not that bothered anyway, but it's given me a good surface area to play with. Talking about surface areas, clearly that's not primed yet, so we've got some our grey primer from Outlaw, in which I'm going to spray in a minute. And then, thanks to you, we have got the insignia red, and we've got the aluminium. And these are part of the American range. Now, I do need to pre-warn you with, excuse me, let me have some of that coffee. Oz, thank you very much. I do need to remind you that there is some colours within the range that are similar that do cross over from the different countries. So you've got German, American, British, and Japanese, as well as NATO. So, but I love the labels. I think they're cracking. So that's the American label. That's the English label. And the Japanese label. So as you can see, they're quite distinct in what they are. They are very busy labels. I do have to say that. And I have said that to Jason as well. But I do love the design. They do look pretty cool on the shelf or in the rack. So those are the paints we're going to use. One other tool I'm going to use, which I don't normally, but given the fact it's live, I've got no choice. He says, is my old faithful hairdryer. So I've not used this with this paint, so it's going to be a bit of an interesting journey to see whether that works okay. I think it will. It should do. It should be fine. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to prime this in a minute in front of you, show you what it's about. I'm also going to do the other colors as well. So at some point, I will obviously mute my mic while I've got my hairdryer out. It's not that I've got a new hairstyle or anything like that other people may have thought. It is purely to do with the model making. So one last thing I'm going to quickly do is have a quick go back at the chat, because I am by myself. It is difficult to keep up to. We have got Captain Chaos. Hi, Captain. How you doing? Gary Stuff says, I'm really excited about this brand. The guys come across as proper enthusiasts, but with very deep technical knowledge of the color and pigments. Yeah, the guys at Outlaw Paints are modelers. They are super passionate about their product. And yeah, you're not wrong. I was just saying, great idea with the samples. It's only a matter of trying the paints, and you will be amazed, as I was. I'm 100% using Outlaw, only using other brands for brush tiny bits. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I think well, I also hope, but I think you're right. I think most people will spray it and go, oh my god, I have got to get more of this. It is one of those paints, and I'm saying one of those paints, I can't remember a paint that does the same thing, so or gives the same reaction. So then who's there? Plastic Alchemist saying hello, James. Hi mate, how you doing? He also says, Captain's House says, where are you in Scale Modeling World? I think that is. Are you asking myself? I am in the UK. We have some people in the UK, some from Australia, etc., etc. Everyone's saying hello to each other. That's wonderful. Oh, Brett is there. High altitude scale model making. So if you're watching this and you're from the US, obviously Brett is the person you could be talking to, because he is, as far as I'm aware, the sole distributor in the US. So congratulations on that, Brett. I've forgotten your web address, but if you want to put it in the chat there, you're more than welcome. I'd be more than happy for you to do so. So talking of web addresses, look at that. Steve is there in the background. So there you go. Yeah, that is the web address. It's going across the bottom of the going across the bottom, spelt wrong. Do you know what? Funny enough, I let me change that, because that shouldn't be like that. Oh God, thank you. And there you go, done. Yeah, that's the web address. Thank you, Steve. I meant to change that as well. I did that little video and had the banner at the bottom, and noticed the mistake when I did the editing, and I meant to do it there and then, and I forgot. So thank you, Steve, for being on top of that. What a wally. Southwest Modeler from Australia is there. Shunk, how you doing, buddy? Brett's just saying there, thanks, James. Should have the Outlaw Paints in September. Yes. Yeah, I think you got them just in front of me. So there you go. Yeah, great to see everyone there. Tony's just asking what size, sorry, what is the bottle capacity? So the bottle capacity is 30 milliliters. on this. On the primer is 100 milliliters, and there's plenty of paint in that. Trust me, really is, really is. So anyway, without further ado, if you've got any questions at all, 16 people watching, that's far more than I expected. So that, you know, what could go wrong? God help me. I'm just going to glove myself up and do a bit of priming. Talk amongst yourselves. Get those questions in. Oh, do you like the sound of latex? So yes, I'm going to get myself ready for this. I just realised what I said out loud. That was pretty silly of me. That's not going to be a meme, is it? Oh dear, Billy. So bear with me. LJ Scale Models just has asked a question there. He's saying, can you use other primers with this paint? Well, funny you should say that. I have confession. Both the Lightning and the Spitfire were not with Outlaw paint primer. I actually used an acrylic paint, primer, which is the one I've used for many years, and no problems or issues whatsoever. So there you go. Nunu's just saying, with lacquer you usually can get away with without a hairdryer. Yes, now, yes, you're absolutely true. That's absolutely true, and I suspect I'm going to, because I'm going to obviously we can catch up with the chat and stuff, so I'm probably going to have time, but it's there just in case, if I'm honest. But yeah, we'll see how we go. So we've got our airbrush. Let's get some primer on here. Give it a little bit of a shake, not too much. Now, the one thing I didn't say about this paint, one of the big differences between this paint and its competitions, which there are people out there, other brands are available, is that the pigment is liquid pigment. Now, you could argue quite successfully, really, in some respects, that when you add a solution to pigment, it is liquid, but this is all a liquid pigment. So that's part of the joy of this particular product. Excuse me a second, I seem to have developed a leak. That's not good. Oh. Go live, be fine. Just been cleaning my airbrush. Right, okay, so dirty fingers, not a good start. So we're just going to prime this very quickly. Now, one thing I will say, it's a lacquer paint, obviously. What you do need to do is make sure you've got plenty of ventilation, and wear the appropriate equipment. Now, I've got the window open and I've got an extractor on, so I'm not using any other equipment, which I should do and would do normally, but obviously I'm talking to you, so it becomes a bit difficult. So you see, I'm just coating on there. It goes on quite well. I hope the lighting in here is giving you the ability to see this properly. Ooh. Now, I know someone's going to ask, and they're going to say, what air pressure are you using? Well, this is on my usual air pressure that I use for any paint that I use. I've not fiddled with it. I'm not a great believer in specific ratios and all that sort of stuff. So there you go. I couldn't tell you, is the honest answer. Oh. I have actually in need of a little bit more primer. I will get to the chat in a minute. That way, I think it is. No, it's not the other way. Typical. So as Nunu pointed out a minute ago, I'm not going to need a hairdryer. This is pretty dry, certainly dry to touch already. So maybe I was just being a little bit overcautious. Now, one thing I will say to you is I am not shy with the paint. I probably am putting a little bit more than I need to, if I'm honest. But that is the way I airbrush. So and like I said, I am conscious of the fact that I am importing it. I'm also conscious of the fact that you need to have an honest and unbiased opinion. And that's why the samples will be going out in the very near future. So as you can probably see there, that's dry to touch already. That's dry to touch already. So the hairdryer is not going to be needed. So let me just have a quick clean. And I've realized I have not turned off my mic, so that's a good thing. Bear with me. So how much primer did I use on that? Well, my little pipettes that I use are, I think they are, he says, 2 mil, something like that. I think it is off the top of my head. And as you saw, I used at least 2, and then I went back for a little bit more. I poured some back in the bottle, so I probably used around about 4 to 5 mil of primer to do that plane. Let me just clean this, and then I will go back to the chat and see what you're all saying. So obviously I've done that off camera, but a little bit of alcohol would be sufficient to take that off. As it is a lacquer, you can get a little bit of thinner, just normal thinner, and take that off really easy out of the airbrush. So that's it. That's sorted. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Chunky's saying, you've got this, James. Yeah, we'll see. LJ's just saying, cool, cheers. That was for the question in relation to the primers. David's there. So hi, David. How you doing? I still brush paint, but struggling to find paint I'm happy with when diluted. Yeah, so this is I'm not sure if you're saying that you don't use an airbrush there. I think you are, but I'm not sure. But just to clarify, so this is one of the good things about Outlaw Paints, is because it's pre-made, pre-thinned rather. You don't need to muck around with ratios. You don't need to have thinner as such. I would recommend having some thinner because that will help clean your airbrush. Obviously, alcohol will do the same job, but thinner would be a little bit better for you, I would say. Just to say, make sure there's no build-ups or anything like that. The one thing I find, I mean, I'm obviously this is my go-to acrylic paint, model color. Very good for figure painting. You put it on a wet palette and blah, blah, blah. But I use this as an airbrush as well. And you have to thin it for that. And getting the consistency right every single time can be difficult sometimes. So obviously there are other paints out there. Tamiya, for example, you put thinner in. And SMS paints, I think they recommend put a bit thinner in. And other products that are out there. So yeah, this is a product that you don't have to worry about any of that. So that cuts down a little bit of storage for you know, your chemicals and all that sort of stuff. You don't need any or massive amounts. It makes it quick and easy when you're doing a bit of model making. And if you run out, if you put something in your cup and run out, you've not got to then remix some more up and remember the ratios and all the rest of it. You just take some out of the bottle and you're up and running. So there we go. So we've done that. I'm going to deglove myself for a second because we are going to have to try and make this half. Not the bit I'm looking forward to. So there you go. So Nuna's just saying thin coats, sir. Thin coats, yes. You're right. I'll talk about thin coats in a minute or two. David's just saying there that still to get an airbrush. Yeah, no, airbrush is a good investment. It'll take a little bit of learning, like all tools do. But you know, that's the joy of the game, isn't it? So right, what I am going to do, talking about thin coats. This is one of the things in which I had suggested in a couple of comments that I've made to a few people about these paints is I don't do pre-shading. It's not something I do. So, and the main reason for that is because I am a little bit heavy-handed, I think would be the right phrase. But with this paint, I truly believe pre-shading is going to be an absolute doddle. So I'm actually going to put that to the test because I'm stupid enough to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of the black primer. Outlaw Paints primer comes in two colors, grey and black. There was a conversation, I believe, that they were thinking about introducing a white one, but I don't know if that will happen. We have lots of conversations. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into this airbrush, and I'm going to do a few panel lines on here on the wing. Just going to do the wing. I'm not going to get too carried away. To test the theory. And look, I haven't done this before, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just keeping up with the chat. There's a couple of bits gone on. Yeah, Nunu's just saying about getting an airbrush is better investment you can make for scale model is an airbrush. No, there isn't. You're right. It really will up your game. So he's also saying you can do top in red and bottom in silver. I could do, but that would be like far too easy, Nunu. We're not going to do that. We're literally going to go half and half. There we go. He's also saying, I'm not sure if that's a backhanded comment or not. You have seen yesterday how good it works. Well, at least with the right operator. Ozzy's saying, I think you should spray stripes. Well, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And Mark is there. Hi, Mark. How you doing? Mark at Edinburgh Modelling Man Cave. Nice to see you, buddy, and see you for ages. And I'm not going to read any more out because I'm not doing zigzag stripes either. Thank you. So anyway, we're going to get a little bit of our black primer in our airbrush. Don't need an awful lot for this because this is a bit more of a play for me rather than anything else. Oh, it's going terribly well. I'm glad you can't see everything going on my bench. I really am. Oh dear. Yes, I thought, yeah. We got someone that knows what they're doing because I clearly don't. Okay. Bear with me. Bear with me. Is this finished yet? Have I done it yet? Plastic. Neely's just saying, man, all good suggestions, and he's just ignoring us. Yep, you're damn right. So, I've not used this airbrush for a little while, so I don't know how clean it is. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put a couple of lines in. I think I might need to go a little bit closer. Oh man, James, can you do straight lines? Not really. Well, as you can see, I'm not a pre-shade expert. There would appear to be some things in which I do need to learn how to do. But yeah, so that'll give you an idea anyway. That's what I wanted to achieve. It's not quite how I wanted to achieve it, but yeah, it'll do. It'll do. So we're just going to put this away very quickly. Bear with me. I do not want accidents on the bench. So yeah, as you can see, that's drying away really quickly. That'll be ready to rock and roll in a second. I'm pleased to say. No, we're not doing zigzags. I told you, not doing zigzags. You're horrible to me, you guys, honestly, because you know as well as I do. All these silly suggestions, I'll go away and go, actually, do you know what? I could do that. But I'm not doing it live. I'm not that much of an idiot. And I'm getting criticised on my lineage. Yes, my lineage is wonky. I apologise profusely for that, but as you can see, I am not a pre-shady guy. This is going to be my first attempt at pre-shading, and that's the honest truth. I've never done pre-shading before, so quite excited to see how badly I can do it, really. So anyway, I've just cleaned out that little airbrush. I'm going to put that to one side. Don't need that at the moment. What we're going to do next is I'm going to get some tape. Bear with me. I need to do a little bit of reorganizing with my face. I'm going to put a bit of coffee in it to start with. Yes, I know, Nunu. I know you love me, buddy. I love you too. And I'm sure you wouldn't be stupid enough to do a live as well. But anyway, so I tell you what, why don't you tell me which color you want to do first? There is 16 of you watching, so you can make sure you made me do it. So which one do you want? Do you want the insignia red or the aluminium with the metal finish? Up to you. Both are ready. Both are raring to go, and I'm not doing stripes. Nunu's just saying there, you can do anything with this paint. Just be confident. Yeah, that is the thing. You know, it is literally the thing. And the more I use it, the more confident I become, because I'm. The other thing is with me is the fact I'm waiting for something to bite me on the ass, because I know something's going to go wrong. I know something's going to happen, and it just hasn't. In all the experience I've had with different paint brands, that's been my experience. So to not have that with this, and I have been playing with it for a little while now, it is just really, really nice. So anyway, you're deciding what color I'm going to do first. Crazy Loco's there. Hi, buddy. How the devil are you? Purple turquoise waving, and waving back to you as well. Ozza said red. Crazy said red. You did Nunu did a live yesterday on pre-shading, buddy. So I'm not that smart either. No, okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. And we've got a metal. So we've got one metal against two reds. So 16 of you watching, I'm just going to give you literally a couple of seconds to get a few more votes in, and then we're going to go with whichever one is there. So as you can see, I've pre-shaded on one wing only. That's all I'm going to do, just that one bit. And this will be the side of the red. I know which color I'd like to go for first, but there you go. Oh, that's a good point. Nunu's saying start with the red. Usually metal color is more sensible to touch. That's very true, actually. It was sort of my thinking. So luckily, with 2 votes for red, I'm going to go with the red. You watch, there'll be loads of metal coming now. Craig's just saying he was asked how he was, and he said he's hot, sweaty. Worked on pickup and big truck before I go to work. Oh, there you go. So there we go. I'm going to do the red. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm just going to fiddle with my pressure a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. That'll do. Right. Okay. So, talk amongst yourselves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run some tape down the middle of our aircraft. I'm not really worried about the overspray too much, which I'm sure there will be. There will be a little bit. And the good thing is, if this is live, I can always go back and put this right if I need to. But I honestly don't think I'm going to need to. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape over there, like so. That's all right for now. And then I'm going to get another bit of tape, which I've got prepared, waiting in the wings. We're just going to run that down the middle. Of our aircraft, like so. Okay, so we're going to go with the red first. Give it a little bit of a shake. There we go. Gonna get a pipette, pipette, and that pipette's not full. And I'll try and get it into the cup, which would be handy. So I'm just going to put that to one side. I don't want to knock that over. Managed to get a load of paint down the outside of my airbrush because I knocked it, didn't get it in the right spot. Wife will know all about that. So there we go. Right, okay, so God help me, here we go. Got a little bit of a dribble on there, which is a shame, but I'm going to start on the fuselage. So that's one pass. Oh. I'm wearing glasses, which I normally wear contact. Know me without that. Build that right up on the fuselage. So that's 2 passes. That's quite a good coverage. I'm going to go for another one. Really build it up. I'm going to do the wing. Let's see how this works on our pre-shading, because like I say, I've never done this before. Something that I've always wanted to do. Never been able to figure out how to do it. That's one pass. Two passes. And I go for a third pass. Right. There we go. I'm going to go around the back here. I'm out of paint. I'm going to put a little bit more in. because I don't need an awful lot. Now I clearly have not cleaned my airbrush properly because I am getting a bit of spitting, and that is not the paint, that is my airbrush. So there you go, that's the red. Can do the underneath now. Once yourselves. Go down the ridges. So there you go. What do you think? Not bad. Not bad for someone doing what they're doing. There we go. So that's the red. Bear with me a second while I just clean the airbrush. I'll take this off my eyes. Bear with me. There's a comment there from Classic Alchemist saying that an open bottle makes you nervous. Not half as nervous as making me, I tell you. Really not the thing I normally do. One thing I will learn from the experience is to maybe decant it all before I start mucking about. But you learn as you go along, don't you? There you go. So that's my airbrush cleaned. Let me just deal with this. Now, bear in mind, I make no bones about it. I'm not a professional modeler. I am just an average model maker. So if my airbrushing skills are not great, that's fine. But that is the key to this. It's just to show you that anyone can do it. So there you go. I'm going to take that off. And we literally have half our plane. So this is touch dry, definitely. I'm running my finger over it. Obviously we did the bottom last, did that bit last. Still nothing. Touch dry. So there you go. So big test. We're going to go for this. Now, if I don't get any overspray, I will be absolutely amazed. I'll have to go in a little bit closer, I think. I did see someone laughing out loud. If you want to put a comment in there and tell me why you're laughing out loud. Maybe I've missed something in the comments, I'm not sure. Or if you're laughing about my inability to airbrush properly, that's fine. By all means, laugh away. You wouldn't be wrong. So yeah, I had to take my contacts out today. And I've got my glasses on, which I don't normally do model making with my glasses because I find them irritating. But not a lot of choice today, unfortunately. So never mind. Makes me look better, apparently. All right. That's the best I can do. Certainly the best I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop this like that. Over the wing. It will give me some protection. Not a lot, but it will give me some. I'm going to give this a shake, and then I'm going to go back to the chat very quickly. So if there's any questions or anything in there. Thank you, Nunu. Like I say, there was a bit of laughing going on there. I'm not quite sure what that was about. Crazy saying nice coverage, no thinners, correct? No, absolutely not. These are pre-thinned paints, so I've not thinned it in any way, shape, or form. MP Model Plastic is there saying hello in the chat. Greetings from Portugal. Hi, not seen that name before. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for being here. How is it in Portugal? So that's great. LJ saying it turned out nicely. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's not too bad. Plastics Alchemist is going because he's got to go and have his dinner. Yeah, you go and have your dinner, Nunu. No worries. See you later on. And that's the chat caught up. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so like I say, we're going to do going to use the aluminium from the US military range. Pipette. Try my best to do this with one squirt of the paint. We'll see. Anyway, so what I am going to do. Let's start at the bottom. Oh, without spilling it, James, please. Thank you. So you can see that's one pass. And we're nearly done. Still got plenty of painting left. Now, I don't know about you, but I always find metallics to be a bit finicky, a bit of a pain. And as you can see, with this particular paint that I'm using, I don't have any of the issues in which I would normally have with the paint I would use. So, and I will quantify that by saying I would normally use an acrylic. And they are very different paints. Last little bit. I mean, even with one pass, I got to be honest, I think that's a pretty pretty good coverage. I mean, that drop tank is one pass, literally. I'm just going to do a little bit around it to make sure that it's nice and even. I'm going to do a bit on the tail. I don't think I did the tail, actually. And there you go. That's done. So as you can see, I only did one bit of pipette in there, and there's still paint in there. And that is touch dry. So I think, in all fairness, I managed to spill more than I actually used on that. Obviously, the red, maybe red's a little bit of a difficult color to use, and that's why I needed a little bit more. I've certainly found with the paints that I've used that, you know, a couple of passes, generally speaking, is all you need. I'm just going to clean out the airbrush. You can just hear me doing that. Just want to make sure I give it a good clean. So all I'm using as a cleaner, I personally, this is my personal preference, I make up a thinner for two reasons. Firstly, the thinner that you can get from Outlaw, which I'm told is not really for thinning, it's just for cleaning your airbrush. I haven't got any of that, so I had to make some of my own. So I have used a little bit of lacquer thinner. Bear with me 1 second while I just deal with this, because I just noticed that I've got a little bit of paint there that I want to get rid of. And I'm certainly going to be taking my airbrush apart after today, both of them, and giving them a good clean. So there you go, clean airbrush. Let's have a look, see how this has come out. So bear in mind, as I say, I am not somebody, I'm not a professional in any way, shape or form. I don't confess to be, or even try to pretend I am. And the whole purpose of today was to literally throw some paint onto a mule. This is your mule, and these are the colors that you chose. So you have got the red, which is the insignia red, and the aluminium, which is the metal. And I think personally that looks pretty neat. I do actually quite like the pre-shading. That's come out pretty well. I will have to learn how to have a bit more control to get my line straight, but realistically I think that's come across pretty well. And as you can see, the bare plastic there, which just got the red on. Look underneath. I have managed to take a little bit off. I don't know how. I must have hit it with something, because certainly not got any paint come off where we had the masking tape. And bear in mind that hasn't had an awful lot of time to dry. So there we go. That is Outlaw Paints. That is what we're bringing into the UK. I am pleased and privileged to be a part of it. And I truly believe that this paint from Outlaw Paints is the absolute nuts. My personal opinion. The only thing I would say to you is, if you're uncertain or you think, well, you're important, of course you're going to say it's brilliant, is please watch other YouTubers. There's a few reviews out there. There will be a few more, because I will be sending stuff out to people. They are not being paid for the reviews. They are providing the kits. So they are telling me the colors. I've given them a few options because I am limited on colors. So that's the only power I've got over their reviews, is to sort of limit the amount of colors in which I send out. But they will all be sent the paint. They will be told to make a review, and if they have any issues or problems, to contact me. But whatever they record, they must put out, because I want their honest opinion. So Outlaw Paints, the website for us, spruebox.co.uk, is going along the bottom of the screen. Tell me what you think. What are your thoughts watching that? There's 16 of you watching. Let's have a quick look, see what is going on. Oh, it's jumped big time. Sorry, bear with me a second. So yeah, so Crazy's just saying, surprised how easily covered and dried without thinners. Yeah, it's cool. It's just really good. Said nice weather, 23 degrees. That's over in Portugal. Nice. We're about, where are we? I'll have a look at the thermometer. We're about outside, I guess we're about 22. Inside here is a little bit warmer, about 23, 24 degrees. MP's just saying there that paint looks extremely metal AK and metal color, which is from Valerio, ready for airbrush. It's not, it really isn't. It's a completely new product. LJ is just saying there, agree, James, appears impressive. Crazy's just saying, yeah, I'm impressed also. Yeah. He also says, especially with the metallics, yes. MP saying very good covered, very good coverage for that paint. Yeah, thank you. Crazy's just saying thinners are very difficult to ship overseas and dangerous. Yeah, they. I think you'll find there is. So yeah, let's just clarify. This is not. I've not added any thinner to this whatsoever. It's straight out of the bottle. But there is thinners inside the bottle. So when these are shipped, these are classed as dangerous goods. So I have to pay extra for that. Anfield's just saying, good stream, look good. Big thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. LJ Scales says, I'm off to the website. Yeah, please, by all means. Like I say, there you can get pre-orders in right now. You get a little bit off. And if you want to pick them up, if you're going to Telford, you want to pick them up at Telford, let me know. And I will provide you with a code if it's not already advertised, which means you don't get charged the delivery and you just pick it up on the day, on the 11th at or the 12th at Telford. MP is just saying, thank you for sharing the experience in that product. Well, it's my pleasure. It really is. LJ says, many thanks, James, for the demo. Very interesting. Crazy's just saying there, you know, I'll be spending my money on them. Color me impressed. Yeah, thank you. 97 Fahrenheit. Yeah. Oz Scale is saying, very nice. No matter what your skill level, it just sprays right. Simple. Excellent advice there, says David. And Anthony says, looks good. I'm off to the website now. Well, wonderful. Thank you very much, guys. Like I say, I am super impressed with it. Yes, I am shipping it into the country. Yes, I am responsible for that. But I genuinely say that this is the first product, paint-wise, that I've ever picked up, sprayed first time and gone, oh, okay, I haven't got to learn anything apart from appreciating. So, like I say, we have got some YouTubers on board who are going to have some stuff sent to them. It's not paid. It's totally given to them free. I'm not paying them for their time. They've agreed to do that for me without a charge. So that way I get an honest opinion of what they think of the paint. So there we go. Guys, thank you so much. I'm just going to change the camera. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with me and enjoying watching me spray a bit of paint. There was a couple of comments in there which I will say about. The reason I didn't is because I was preoccupied with what I'm doing. There was a comment in there about cancer paints, which I deleted. But I will address it. So, like any product that is atomized, there are health risks. And I would implore upon you that you have a good extractor, in a well ventilated room, and you wear the appropriate masking for any product you use, regardless of whether it's Outlaw Paints or any other makers. Plenty out there. With this particular product, as long as you're in a well ventilated room, you should be more than safe. To, you know, it does. There is some fumes, i.e. smell. Of course there is. It's a lacquer paint. There will be. But as long as you take the right precautions, you'll be fine. The other thing on which I would just ask from you is don't spend all day sat in the bench spraying paint, breathing those fumes in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up this stream, and what I'm going to do, my window is open already, my extractor will be on. I'm going to shut the door and I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I've only been in here an hour. And I would make sure that you try your very best to allow yourself to get away from the fumes that model making gives you, regardless of whether it's Outlaw Paints and lacquer paints, or whether it's acrylics. Anything that's atomized is not good for you. Yeah, so take the right precautions. Same with glues and solvents, exactly the same thing. Well ventilated room and lots of breaks. Anyway, so a quick look at the chat, and then we're going to end it there. So thank you for everybody that's joined. There was up to about 16 or 17 people. Scale Models has crept in there. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Great stuff, James. Thank you very much, mate. Crazy Local said he's got to bugger off and do work things. Yeah, thank you very much, Crazy, for being with me. Love you as always. Gary Stuff is there. He's just saying brilliant results, James. Thanks for the video. You're more than welcome. And a second that coffee break, absolutely must do that. Oz is there just saying great review, have a great weekend everyone. Indeed, and on that note, it's exactly that. Thank you very much for spending an hour with me. I am very appreciative. There is more video content coming out very soon from the channel. I know I've been a bit lax, but we are coming back with a little bit of a storm. Keep an eye on the website. There are some new things going on the website every couple of weeks. Although they might be hiding because there might be a big reveal coming. Anyway, take care, everyone. Have a great weekend and take care of yourself. Happy modeling.